I'm sold. Sold! Hello one and all, welcome to Seeing Through Glass, welcome to Alexander's Prestige. Now if you listen to a recent episode of my podcast, Behind the Glass, you'll know that Andrew from Alexander's Prestige came on for a kind of SUV special. In that episode, he did put kind of a bit of pressure on me to replace or upgrade my trusty daily whip, my BMW X3 M40i. I've had that car for about 18 months now, and really ever since the day I got it, I've kind of toyed with the idea of replacing it, but I've never done so because, well, it's just so good. Whilst it hasn't really connected with my soul, I don't walk up to it and go, ooh, what a car. It just does everything perfectly. So whilst I'm still not convinced I can find anything else that does as good a job as that car does, I thought today I'd kind of humour Andrew a bit by coming up here to Alexander's and seeing what cars they've got in stock and what could potentially replace the X3. So yes, let's walk around the showroom inside and out, try not to get distracted by some of the incredible sports and supercars lying around, and do a bit of X3 replacement / SUV shopping. Now before we get started, let me explain why I think the X3 is just so hard to replace. In my mind, it just ticks so many boxes. It's incredibly practical, it's spacious, it has fantastic equipment and technology, wireless Apple CarPlay, cruise control, heated seat, voice activated controls that actually work. It's big without being huge, so it's easy to maneuver in and around town. It's comfortable, but yet it sounds good, and it's very, very quick. It's got heads-up display. I mean, the list could go on and on forever. On top of that, I think I pay about £450 a month for that car. And whilst I am prepared to increase that monthly expenditure, I think at that price point, it's insanely good value for money. And so I think any replacement would have to be also seen as great value, even if it's, 650 quid a month, 700 quid a month. As long as it represents a bit of a steal at that price point, I'm sort of keen. The cars just over there don't really represent those, I don't think, but let's dive in. Check this out. Range Rover Sport, it's not an SVR, it's actually the SD V8, which I still think is a very desirable engine combination, with green and a tan interior. Oh yes, and the price doesn't look horrific. Now there's a big sign in the window there saying this vehicle is awaiting preparation. If you saw my video when I came up here in the McLaren 765 LT, you know the guys down here at Alexander's put these cars through a huge process before they actually end up here in the showroom. It's not just a simple wash. They go in for fresh tyres if they're needed, or rim repairs, or paintwork repairs. It's absolutely insane. And I did ask Andrew at the time, is it actually profitable to do that? But he said that's the levels that they go to. So yeah, this car apparently, even though to me looks kind of perfect, hasn't gone through that process yet. But just check out this interior. Oh my god, it is literally an SUV form of the F-Type R that I've been cruising around in for so long. Same colour and interior combo. And the Range Rover Sport is still such a winner. Look at the luxury. It's even got a pan roof. Very, very cool. And weirdly, I think Range Rovers and Range Rover Sports have kind of become the Golf GTIs of the SUV segment. They basically are an everyman luxury vehicle. It's sort of lost any sort of pretentiousness, I think. You can kind of get away with being just, accepted in most situations, rocking up in a Range Rover. Maybe the big one still has connotations of being sort of uber luxe, but the Sport, I just think, is just a car that does so much. And as I say, without being the SVR, get a little bit better fuel economy, and still a V8 diesel, but a little bit better. It's not as showy, it's not as aggressive. Yeah, this thing, very, very nice. Anyway, let's head outside, because a lot of the SUVs down here at Alexander's get kept out the back here, and we're in trouble. We are in a lot of trouble. I think all of you know I'm kind of really intrigued. I'm not going to say obsessed, but really intrigued by the new Defender, especially the 90. And look at this. Now, I get very confused when it comes to engines for Defender. They launched them with some engines that they've then stopped sort of producing them with. They've got the D250, the P300, the rare P400. There's even a V8 version. I mean, there's just so many ones. But fundamentally, for me, all that matters is it a 3-door variant, the 90, or a big 5-door variant, the 110. Now, I think the 110s are too big. In my opinion, this is sort of, you know, bordering on impractical in London. If I move outside of London, maybe it's an option, but I just think the 90 is, and it's just cooler. I have to say, this Overfinch 110 is sitting a lot lower and a lot nicer. It must be on the air suspension. Now, this is a completely different matter. Welcome to the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. At one point, and potentially even still, this was the fastest accelerating and most powerful SUV in the world. It's got a 6.2 litre V8 and it was accelerating 0 to 60, I think, sub 3 seconds. I believe there's a Dodge out in America now which accelerates faster or is maybe more powerful. I think we're talking about maybe 800 horsepower. I'm sorry, Americans, if I've got that wrong. We don't usually get these cars in Europe or in the UK, but this thing is an absolute beast. Check out those massive brakes, huge Brembo brakes. I really want to have a go in this. It would be stupid, it would be ridiculous. If I lived in America, I'd get one, but here in the UK, it probably does about 4 mpg, but I just think it's just the coolest thing. And actually watching a lot of the Stradman's videos recently, when he's powering around in these hugely powerful trucks, flatbed pickup trucks, I just think, oh, I'd love to own something like that. This thing must sound incredible. Actually, you know what, at some point I'm going to go and find a key. I'm going to start this thing up. Actually not as impressive as I thought it was going to be.
As I did it, I thought.
I think it needs a bit of... Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Quite expensive, and I can't imagine the residual values of these would be very good in the UK, so financing one, I think it's going to be quite expensive, and it's not going to represent that great value like I mentioned, because, well, it's just out there. It's just a wacky thing, but what a brilliant thing. Speaking of brilliant, I know there's lots of you who are going to be flying the flag for the Macan. Now, quite a few Macan... Oh, that's nice. Quite a few Macans knocking around back here, various iterations between turbos and V6Ss. I don't think there's a GTS here at the moment. For some reason, I've never quite got on with the Macan. I don't know, like, I'm a huge Porsche fan, but Macan's a bit like, meh. Like, I've driven quite a few. I actually drove one in New Zealand. I had a Macan Turbo for a few days when we were doing Drive the World, and it's good, but I mean, this one is quite nice. But no, I'm not getting a Macan. I'm just gonna come out and say it, as much as Andrew might push it, and even Tony's a huge Macan fan. I don't know, not really doing anything for me, but this is, hello, I think GLC 63S, probably the first edition. Now, I really enjoyed the latest variation of C63 when I had a go in that, but I've never actually driven a GLC 63, the kind of SUV version. But if you think of the very popular 340i touring or saloon, my car's the X3 M40i, it's basically the same concept. So this is just a jacked up C63. What's not going to be to love? Like, it's a very cool thing, and I kind of love the design and the spec of this first edition with the satin and the yellow details. Do I see myself as a Mercedes owner? I'm not sure, but I am enjoying this, I have to say. Oh god, more Defenders. Both sold, both 110s. A lot of urban Defenders knocking around. Obviously urban, a lot of you will know Lenny the Geezer, who hasn't been on the channel for far too long, now works at Urban these days, and he just goes by Lenny Urban. Yeah, works at Urban. They do beautiful modifications to kind of loads of different products, but especially the Defender. And yeah, that one looks... See, sitting here right now next to a big Range Rover, suddenly that Defender doesn't look too ungainly large. This guy does, and especially next to in Evoque. But when you see these in London, they just look kind of massive. Ooh, and is this a GLC 63 Coupe, or is that what they call it? They call it Sports Coupe or Sportback. Ooh, I quite like that wing. Is that Should I not be saying that? Is everyone going to go, oh no, the wing's disgusting? Ooh, I think I really quite enjoy this. Why do I suddenly want a Mercedes? I haven't wanted a Mercedes for ages. GLE, what's the one below these days? 43? Is that what they call it? The GLE 43, I think that is. Not so keen on that. But actually, seeing these here, how small does the GLC look? That's probably an equivalent, oh, it's the X4 size, so X3, X4. It looks miniature next to the GLE, but I'm kind of feeling like the GLE is going to be too big. And then kind of the daddy now, it's going to be a lot of money, but look at this Range Rover Sport SVR. Has it got a sticker in the window? Let's see what damage we're talking about. Whoa, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, but what a thing. Proper Jag V8 engine. I mean, horrific fuel. Oh, that's a beauty. Okay, I mean, take my money. But yeah, look at the carbon fibre details. This would be quite an aggressive move for me. Whilst it probably would do, or would tick a lot of the boxes, in terms of, sort of fuel economy and those kind of things, which I do have to think about. This is my daily car. And I know on YouTube people go, oh, I'm gonna daily a GT3. Like, good on you, son. I wish I could, but I've got a dog, I've got a wife, and also I'm moving around London. I just need to sometimes be in comfort and luxury because I'm getting old. So this is kind of, it's a bit of hit and miss in both sides. I think I preferred the diesel V8, the green one inside, and that's a punchy thing to say, but I kind of want to forget all of them and check out this. This is almost my dream spec Defender 90. I mean, it hasn't got the steelies, but we'll forgive it. It's got the mud flaps. Let's check this thing out. Oh no, Andrew, what have you done to me? What have you done to me? It's sold. Oh, and it's got like the khaki interior. Can you see that? Oh, it's got the perfect interior. Okay, actually not, because I want the bench seat, the 3-seater at the front. But oh, this is just dreamy. See, look how excited I'm getting. This is wrong. This is wrong of me. I'm supposed to be sort of considering lots of options here, not just deciding on the one thing that you all knew I wanted. And the problem is, look, you can see it through there. It's not that practical, the Defender. That is the rear seat bench. You open that up, you haven't got a lot of space compared to Range Rover, GLC, big proper usable boots, but I'm kind of like, do I care? I'm not sure I do, because, amazing. Speaking of amazing, lots of other things knocking around. We're nearly back at the front. We've got two more. How many Defenders? I feel like Andrew is trolling me. How many Defenders have they got today? Both sold again, both 110s, both Urbans. Black and white, quite a cool pair there, you have to say. Did you purposefully troll me with all of these Defenders?
We have cornered the market, haven't we?
It's outrageous. That silver. Why did you sell that silver one, not to me?
What? I've got a white one.
That car was a dream.
Isn't it just? Do you like the wheels?
Mate, I love the whip, but the interior, that like khaki, greeny camo, like, it's so nice. But there's quite a few cars. I'm going to be honest, I was coming here just to humour you. I've now seen a few things that I'm like, that's quite
Well, it's about time you did something, isn't it, really? Let's face it, come on.
You're giving me such a hard time. The Range Rover, the green Range Rover, super nice.
That's F-Type spec, isn't it?
It's F-Type spec.
Yeah.
But you know what, weirdly, I'm sort of into the Mercedes vibe today. Like, the GLE is too big for me, that's a massive tank. But then you've got a few GLCs knocking around.
Have you seen the first edition?
Yes! I like that, with the satin and the yellow. Yeah. So yeah, it's slightly frustratingly, I'm now sort of getting quite interested in terms of a few things. So.
Well, I've got a couple of things that you might not have seen. Do you want to have a...
God, well, don't do that. I've already got too many things spinning in my head, right? I'm following you. Oh no, so this is quite interesting. I didn't know that this was back here.
Yeah, a 45e.
So that would be a logical step up in terms of size for me, and I actually really like the way X5s look.
I would be rather disappointed if you got a hybrid, though.
Oh, okay.
If I'm honest.
Fair enough, that's fine.
I mean, do you not feel that whilst we should have as much horsepower and as big a displacement as possible?
I'm so with you, which is why I've been eyeing up that V12 Vantage, but that's a whole other video. Ooh, new S-Class.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
You have too much stuff. The fact that this is hiding on the back.
They're all just waiting to get ready.
Oh yes, I saw one of your signs saying awaiting preparation.
Yes.
And is this what's Harvey Cooper?
Harvey Cooper's our other site that we have in Ripon.
Oh, okay.
So we do the more normal stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's named after my son and my business partner Alex's son, so it's sort of, you never know, it might be a protege in the future. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, this, you know, I said there's something around the back. We talked about horsepower and engines. 5 litre supercharger.
No, that's not the V8.
Yeah, with a Miltec exhaust.
Shut up. This is the first time I've seen the V8.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a silly exhaust from...
Now you can tell by the blue calipers and...
Oh, but this is huge money, right?
150.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I think...
Have a listen.
Really?
Yeah,
oh my God, please.
Listen.
This is going to be so good.
This sounds like a Mark 1 SVR.
Oh my God,
Before they
please.
got silly.
I've sold. I mean, and look at these inside with the Alcantara. Oh my God, this is outrageous.
It's not prepared yet, it's not clean, so don't get too close. That's why it's out.
I've already explained to people that you have your process, and I know you're special. But this is nuts. I'll be honest, it's a bit too much urban for me. I love what urban do, but I wouldn't necessarily have some of the fun. But the actual car as a thing, wow.
I would have Carpathian grey without the urban bits. I'd have the exhaust because that, and do you know, it feels like a G-Wagon. You know that you're sat
with
up
the rumble
bobbling around, but it's rumbling and it's powerful and what have you.
And this is the thing, like, is the Defender somehow has reached to the upper echelons of these SUVs like a DBX, like a Urus, like that, where it's got so much presence, even though it's, you know, it has its flaws, but then you get the V8 one, it's like, oh my God, I mean, what a thing. I mean, if you can saw me a mega deal, I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah.
I'm just dropping my jaw around here.
That's in for servicing at the moment.
That's a Lister.
I don't see many of those.
You do not. I mean, that's a very yellow. I don't even know what you'd call it. Detailed Lister. So these things, highly tuned, modified Lister, very famous for tuning Jaguars over the time, and they've done these F-types over the years. And what a beast this thing must also sound.
Well, we
nuts.
sold this client an SVR, and then he upgraded the SVR for this. So, and I've never driven this, so I mean, it must be bonk. I don't know if it's too much, to be honest.
Maybe.
I mean, how much more than an SVR can it handle? I don't know, but
it's fun there, and that grille is mega, and you just don't see them.
It's different, isn't it? Yeah.
Super cool.
And also, if we're not doing SUVs, here's a thought for you.
Right.
How about 340 diesel X-Drive touring, maybe?
You sound like one of my audience now. So many people recommend this, and look, what a good-looking car, right? Yeah. Like a good-looking, but I basically, that's the diesel, but I basically have this car just in SUV form.
Yeah, I guess. Although it's more engaging to drive, isn't it?
It's definitely going to be more engaging to drive, but I think I'd feel disappointed if that does look amazing, by the way. Look at that grille and everything. Yeah. But I think after 3 months, I'd be like, well, I've just ended up with the same car, just a bit lower.
Yeah, get something with a massive engine. That's much more fun.
Well, this has been far more tempting and exciting than maybe I initially thought. I genuinely just planned to come up here just to have a bit of fun, and now I'm thinking, how on earth can I afford that V8 to found? Absolutely outrageous. But I think we're nearly at 20 minutes for this video, so I'm going to break this up into two. And I'm now going to sit down with Andrew, and probably on the Magnitude Finance calculator, and pick out maybe 3 or 4 cars to actually go out and test drive, and to really properly consider, because it's all well and good looking and drooling over cars in a showroom, but to actually consider whether you could use them or live with them, I've got to get out on the road. And I've driven most of the stuff here, but it's good to have a refresher. So yes, that's going to be another video. In a couple of days' time, I'll be back here, or you'll be rejoining me back here, test driving some of the cars. Kind of think I know which they are, but I've got to figure them out. Put a comment below now, try and guess which ones maybe I'm going to drive, or at least maybe you can comment which ones you wanted me to drive, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, long story short, come back to the channel in a few days' time, as I say, to see a sort of head-to-head SUV test drive experience. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and stay subscribed, because plenty more videos, including that big SUV head-to-head, to come.